October 16th, 2019. I've had an admiration for content creators for as long as I've had internet access. It started with people like Angry Video Game Nerd, Nostalgia Critic, and JonTron. I wanted to be like them and do what they did. But I think now I've realized that there is a significant difference between me and them, and it's a gap that I can never really get across. It's not a level of skill, because simply by watching their old videos you can see that they all started very humbly, and it's not their broadly appealing sense of humor, as each of them has a different style of comedy that some people love and some people despise. The key difference is that they have an interest in creating theatrical pieces. The Angry Video Game Nerd has been making films since he was a child. Nostalgia Critic loves movies and wants to make his own, and JonTron has a background in opera and musical theater. But I don't really like movies. I've never had an interest in studying them. For a few months I bought a subscription to Skillshare and tried to learn some filmography, but that bored me to tears and I retained nothing of it. I especially hate dealing with video editing software, which I think is made specifically to be as confusing and cumbersome as possible. So I've come to realize that for a long time I've been doing things that I'm not very good at or even particularly interested in. For some reason, though, I still want to be a content creator, whatever that even means. I think it's similar to how I want to be an artist, but I hate drawing. For years I struggled to draw, and to this day I occasionally build up the courage to pick up a pencil again, but I hate every moment of it, and it only ever leaves me feeling depressed. It's the same with my videos. I can't point at a single video I've made that I'm proud of or that I enjoyed doing. I can, however, point at several I wish I hadn't made, and even more that cost me far too much money and brought me nothing in return. I think that in my mind, a person isn't a real content creator unless they have lots of people who follow their content. For whatever reason, 100,000 followers, in my head, is the correct amount of followers you need in order to be a real content creator. Therefore, because I want to be a real content creator, creating content is not out of interest of a subject, or even a passion for creating content, but instead out of a feeling of necessity to reach a certain follower count. I think that many channels operate like this. Clickbait and algorithm-chasing content is the norm on YouTube, as are counterculture or shock videos. They serve no artistic purpose and only exist to draw in the reactionaries and spastic children that seem to make up the bulk of YouTube's viewer base. It's not fun to appeal to reactionaries and spastic children. It means making yourself known to some of the most annoying people alive. I can quite honestly say that I hate popularity, primarily because of the former two groups. I hate it so much that on several occasions I've had to quell my own popularity by making myself as unlikable as possible, just to get people to leave me alone. So if I don't like creating content in the traditional sense, and I don't like popularity that comes with actually being good at it, it seems like what I want is at complete odds with what I do. But that doesn't really surprise me. Nothing I do makes sense, especially not to me. I think the thing I hate the most is feeling like I have to censor myself. And it's not just about not saying certain words. It's thinking about how everything I say should be worded in order to minimize what can be taken out of context. It's as if I worked at a company full of uptight office workers. Censoring myself is a completely miserable process that wipes all uniqueness, emotion, and creativity out of a piece of writing. So I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. Yes, people will take clips of things I say and talk about me. They can't help but misinterpret everything they hear to mean the worst things possible, and then yap like a mentally deficient chihuahua to all their brain-dead sheep friends about it. But I'm finding more and more that I just don't care. The vicious little mongrels can say what they want. I think I might just hate them enough to the point where I don't really consider them real people anymore, and I don't particularly care what an animal's opinion of me is. But there is another problem. There's a certain kind of stress that comes from not creating content. Every day there's a tightness in my chest that tells me I must do something. I must release a video, or at least work on one. And every day that I don't, that anxiety grows. It isn't as simple as just making a video, though. I believe the main reason I feel so anxious is because I feel like my life will only continue to get worse unless I do something about it. However, no matter what I do, all outcomes are bad. First of all, the most obvious, is that it is possible to make a bad video. a video that loses subscribers and makes people very vocal about their dislike for you. This makes my life worse. Even making a successful video that gets lots of positive attention means a flood of people who want to talk to me, and I do not want to talk to them. It wouldn't be so bad if it were a few people simply saying, "I liked your video," but in reality, it's dozens or sometimes hundreds of people trying to be my new best friend. So no matter what video I make, my life becomes worse, or at least more annoying. Maybe the key is to try and stay in a certain middle ground, to make videos that aren't controversial enough to be hated or even cared about by the reactionaries, spastic children, retarded chihuahuas, and brain-dead sheep, but that aren't loved enough to attract new best friends. Maybe it's to appeal to a small group of people who just like listening to me talk. Is there a point to that? I don't really know.